Andrew Godsmith here, Godsmith of Chaos, here with an Exodia Millennium deck profile. I am bringing this deck to Niagara Regionals this weekend, and I am preparing to obliterate all my opponents, and I'm going to top at this regional. Yeah. Anyways, please like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. Anyways, let's get to the video. Also, remember, don't get obliterated. So of course, when you're playing Exodia, you gotta play the 5 pieces of Exodia. It's a must, for obvious reasons. If you do not play these 5 pieces, you cannot play Exodia, because you need to reveal these cards to be able to summon them. So we got the 5 pieces of Exodia, our main searcher for Ankh, which Ankh is our main summoner, our main fusion card. It's not really a fusion card because it doesn't really fusion summon, it special summons from the extra deck, but it does get out our big boss monster, which is a fusion. So it's kind of a fusion card. So 3 Heart of the Blue Eyes, absolutely one of the best cards, if not one of the best card, if not the best card to play in the deck. It searches Ankh, just discard. No have to pay for life points, no nothing. Send it to graveyard, search for Ankh, and then when Ankh actually resolves, this becomes live in your graveyard. When your opponent special summons a monster or summons a monster with 3,000 attack or level 8 or higher, you can just send it to the graveyard and then special summon Heart of the Blue Eyes. Heart of the Blue Eyes also cannot be switched position, so your opponent can't triple tap its talented to take control of it. Now, Sengen Jin wakes from a Millennium. This is your carrier of your Millennium items. As you can see, he's carrying the shield, which is the monster that is next up. What Sengen Jin does is searches all your monsters for Millennium items, or Millennium archetype. Searches for shield, searches for Heart of the Blue Eyes, but most of the time with Sengen Jin, if you don't already have it in your hands, it's Heart of the Blue Eyes. If not, then if you already have Heart of the Blue Eyes, you're going to search Shield of Millennium Dynasty. It can summon from Spell and Trap Zone, just like all Millennium monsters, by paying 2,000 life points or revealing Millennium Ankh. And when you do this, special summons searches for Ankh. This special summons searches for your monsters. So before this came out, it was summon this to search for this. But they also have a second effect. Sengen Jin cannot be destroyed by monster effects, which is really good, comes in handy. And then the shield cannot be destroyed by spell and traps, which also comes in handy. And with it being a 3,000 defense beat stick, sometimes your opponent can't attack over it. Then we play Golem that guards the Millennium Treasures. I only play 1 in this deck. This searches you Wedju Temple, which then Wedju Temple is itself essentially a 1-card starter, 1.5 card because you do need another monster in your hand, but this searches you Wedju Temple, as well as when this is on the field, your Millennium Ankh cannot be negated. So make sure, if you're able to, get this guy out on the field before you activate Ankh. Unless you're going against a mirror match, they're most likely not going to have Crossout Designator to stop you, so it'll guarantee you getting out your big boss monster. Now, of course, when you're playing this deck, you have to play 3 Millennium Ankh. No questions about it. 3 Millennium Ankh. It's our main card that summons out our main monster, our big boss monster. So you need Ankh. Also, it kind of, resembles the 3rd leg of Exodia, if you know what I mean. Then 3 Wedju Temple. I like playing 3 Wedju Temple. I just do. It came in handy a lot more than having 2 Golem. But, 2... Yeah, Golem. And then play 1 Exod and 1 Obliterate Blaze. I only play 1 of each instead of 2 Exod or none, is because that's your win condition. If you're going first, you set Exod during your end phase. Then you wipe your opponent's board. During their end phase, you search Obliterate Blaze. Then during your main phase, you activate Obliterate Blaze, giving Exodia the effect, and then you can attack for game since it gives you 10,000. It gives you 10,000 attack with all the pieces set up as equipped spells. I also play 1 Secret Village of Spellcasters, 1 Terraforming, and 1 Set Rotation. I feel like it's a must. This deck is... When you get this out with Exodia, it's pretty much a win. I'm only playing 1 because it is kind of a brick. So I am playing a way to search it, Terraforming and Set Rotation, which is kind of like having 3 Secret Village, but it is what it is. It's a floodgate that completely stops your opponent when you have Exodia on the field. Now to search everything for a one of, I play Power Prosperity. This is so I can get into the pieces that I need. Most likely that if I search 6 cards, I'm going to come in the 1 card that I need. Yeah. And then I play 3 Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. Why? Because it's a must in this deck, I find. Your life points are also your attack. So the higher your life points, the higher your attack. And sometimes Ghost Sister can actually be a turn skip for your opponent if he doesn't know what you're playing, because you put that on, your opponent sees that you're going to gain a lot of life points if they're going to sum out a lot of monsters, and they don't want to waste a negate on Ghost Sister. So they're going to let it go through, and they're probably not going to summon as much as what they normally would. So for me, this is an amazing interruption. It increases our attack because our attack is our life points. Yeah. 3 Ash Blossom. It's one of the best hand traps. It's probably played in like almost 99% of the decks. It just stops your opponent from searching a card from the deck, or from deck to graveyard. Next, 3 Droll and Lockbird. For when your opponent gets around to Ash and adds a card to their hand, you Droll and Lockbird them, then they can't do it again. Next, 3 Artifact Lancia. Because of the Malice cards and everything just freaking banishing themselves and everything lately for effects, I took out Shifter, put it in the side deck, and I'm playing Artifact Lancia in the main deck. Only play 1 Bestial Magnanut because it can get out Heart of Blue Eyes. So if you're going second, you got Bestial Magnanut in your hand, and your opponent starts summoning monsters, you can get out Bestial Magnanut, summon it, and then you can add your dragon at the end to get Heart of Blue Eyes to pretty much guarantee that you're going to get Exodia out next turn. Next, 3 Infinite Impermanence for that negation that isn't a monster, so your opponent doesn't triple tactics you on your turn. I do not have any of the Dominus Purge or Dominus Impulse cards, but hey, if y'all want to send me them, I would love that. But anyways, last card, Angel Statue, Azaroon for going against Malice cards, and just any deck that has any inherit summons. That's it for the main deck. Let's head on over to the side deck, or extra deck. So for the extra deck, of course, when you're playing this deck, you need to play 3 the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate. Some people play 2, but honestly, I've gone through 3 of them in one game, so you're probably better off to play 3, since it's your main monster that we do summon in this deck. Then I play a couple Super Poly targets, because I do play Super Poly in the side deck. Got Mud Dragon of the Swamp and Goooo Rings of Resonant Life for obvious reasons if you're going to play Super Poly. Then I got my Link 1s for Link Spider and Relinquished Enema. Now, when you're playing this deck, it's a downfall, but you do play 4 normal monsters and 5 big bricks because of the head. If you so happen to get out you got 2 limbs in your hand. At least with the 2 limbs, you can summon one of the limbs, which is level 1, go into Link Spider. Link Spider can summon the second limb. The second limb can go into Relinquished Enema. Now you have 2 effect monsters on the field. You can go into SP, you can do other plays. Yeah, nothing too special, but at least it's better than nothing. Yeah. Then, for round 3 or game 3, when you're struggling, Sorcerer of Sebek with this card, it can gain you life points and damage your opponent's life points. If your opponent gains life points, Sebek can make them lose 1,000 life points. But you also. Then I play 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Silhouette Rabbit for the Azaroon, 1 SP Little Knight, and then Dark Charmer, Celine, and Access Code for the Access Code plays, and 1 Superstar Slayer Typhoon Sky Crisis for when there's nothing else I can do, go into Superstar Typhoon, go in second, or in the later game state when you have pieces that have gone to the graveyard or banished or something, at least you can go into Typhoon. Now onto the side deck. Everywhere that you go, everywhere that you compete is going to be slightly different. This, I'm getting ready for regionals. I'm trying to build it for going against Malice and Ryzeal because they're most likely going to be the most played decks there. Yeah, let's see. I got 3-dimensional shifter. Great card, especially in this deck. I don't need the graveyard. 3-deck lockdown. Absolutely wonderful card. Going first locks out your opponent for special summoning from the deck and adding cards to their hand. Great card. Then 3 Super Poly. For obvious reasons, this wonderful, wonderful card wins me games all the time. Highly recommend Super Poly. 3 Crossout Designator for when I do go on against a mirror match, because I do so happen to go against them quite often, because a lot of people seem to actually play Exodia. This completely stops Onk, stops the deck. You pretty much win if you get to that. Then 3-dimensional barrier to stop Ryzeal. That is everything for my Exodia Millennium deck. Hope you liked it. Comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. May the heart forever be in your cards. Love you all. Remember, don't get obliterated.